Who are you? In a democratic state, express your views, criticize government about its ineptness, quote unquote, in dealing with matters of illegal immigrants. But don't call for violence in our country. We know what violence can do.
You are welcome to Lucky G News, your trusted source of the latest breaking news, current affairs and important updates from South Africa and around the world. We bring you accurate, timely and engaging news, stories that matter to you. Please do like, comment, share and subscribe to Lucky G News. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss any breaking news updates. Thank you for watching and be part of Lucky G News family. In this report, we examine the rising tensions surrounding the much anticipated June 30th deadline for the immigrants, including statements from Jacinta, comments from activists Ngizwe, and the response from ANC Secretary General Mbalula, who insists that government will not allow lawlessness or dangerous populism to destabilize the country. Watch the video. I will be right back.
Who are you? In a democratic state, express your views, criticize government about its ineptness, quote unquote, in dealing with matters of illegal immigrants. But don't call for violence in our country. We know what violence can do. These people who call for violence, look at what they did in June and July unrest, looting here in Joburg and KZN. And now they think, no, this thing is doable. You can go to TV and say that on such and such a date, if you don't move mountains, you will see what will happen. You are inciting violence. Innocent people are going to be, you know how many people...
Which is an organization and everything to do with South Africans who are calling on their government to make sure that by the 30th of June they have a plan that lays out fundamentally how they're going to deal with the issue of illegal immigrants. And if the government cared even for a second to address the issue, they should have addressed the issue by now with the same vigor that they have to worry about violence and the worry that we have about strangers invading our country. We're the people that are having to live with these people that we don't know. And recently we saw some of them are even people who are in Interpol, as I mentioned, people who are coming and running away from crimes they've committed in their country. There's another one from Malawi who killed 2,000 people in Malawi, but is still in the country today, fighting not to be extradited back to his country. We do not want to live with those people, and it's the government that allowed them to come into our country. Therefore, the biggest issue that they should be dealing with is how do they get these people out of our country, secure our borders, and make South Africans feel safe in their own country. We don't want the destruction of South Africa. We're South Africans. There's nothing we want to see more than for South Africa to prosper. The problem here is they're focusing on the wrong people. Instead of focusing on South Africans, use that energy and that same resources that you want to use on us on tackling the issue of illegal immigrants. That's what we're asking for.
We have not accused marchers in our statement. Read it. We characterize the problem and we say, what is it that we must avoid? We're not condemning them, but we're not pulling back on wrongdoing. We can't all as a nation keep quiet when other people, because we fear for this and that, allow dangerous populism to erode the democratic standing of our country. We must go around the world explaining ourselves to the United Nations. It looks like it's deliberate to show South Africa as something else. Because I show something that is being circulated now, that no, they were busy with Palestine. They are busy with other things. In their own country, they are failing to deal with their own situation, and so on. Now, we are detailing step by step what are the things that are happening. Yesterday we attended the meeting in Pretoria convened by government, including all these NGOs. When we arrived there, they were present. Of course, it's the right thing to do, to talk to people, but they must equally understand what the government is going to do. Because government cannot allow a state of lawlessness. You cannot go to national TV and threaten violence. Who are you? In a democratic state, express your views, criticize government about its ineptness, quote unquote, in dealing with matters of illegal immigrants. But don't call for violence in our country. We know what violence can do. These people who call for violence, look at what they did in June and July unrest, looting here in Joburg and KZN. And now they think, no, this thing is doable. You can go to TV and say that on such and such a date, if you don't move mountains, you will see.
South Africa's immigration debate continues to intensify ahead of the planned the 30th of June march, with new political voices entering the conversation and tensions rising between protest organisers, government officials and concerned citizens. What began as a campaign centred around undocumented immigration and border enforcement has now evolved into a much broader national debate about law enforcement, unemployment, public frustration, state capacity and the limits of protest action in a constitutional democracy. At the centre of this growing national discussion is the anti-illegal immigration movement, calling for stronger border controls, stricter enforcement against undocumented foreign nationals, and urgent intervention from government. Organisers insist the march is not about hatred or violence, but about demanding that existing immigration laws be enforced and that South Africans be prioritised in employment opportunities, housing, public services and economic participation. However, government leaders and political officials continue to warn against inflammatory rhetoric, unlawful behaviour and any actions that could destabilise communities or trigger violence. The ANC Secretary-General has now become one of the latest senior political figures to address the planned march publicly, urging restraint while warning against what he describes as dangerous populism and threats of violence. This story matters because it reflects a deeper national anxiety, the growing frustration among ordinary citizens who feel unheard on issues of crime, unemployment, undocumented migration and state inefficiency, while government insists that any grievances must still be addressed within the framework of the law and constitutional order. According to the movement, the government has until the end of next month to clearly outline its plan to address illegal immigration, border security and enforcement failures. The organisation argues that many South Africans are demanding stronger border control measures, improved law enforcement and decisive action against undocumented foreign nationals residing in the country unlawfully. According to the ANC Secretary-General, the government has not accused organisers of wrongdoing, nor has it condemned the right of citizens to protest. Instead, he says authorities are warning against actions or rhetoric that could encourage violence, intimidation or lawlessness. The government has already engaged with NGOs and civil society organisations in discussions aimed at understanding the issues being raised by concerned communities. He describes those engagements as constructive, while emphasising that South Africa cannot allow a breakdown of law and order. He further warns against what he calls dangerous populism and says no individual has the right to publicly incite violence in a democratic society. Referencing previous periods of unrest, says South Africans still remember the consequences of instability and violence, and the government cannot simply ignore warning signs when inflammatory statements are made publicly. The ANC Secretary-General maintains that while criticism of government is legitimate and protected in a democracy, threats, intimidation or unlawful conduct cannot be tolerated. So now the country finds itself caught between two powerful narratives. On one side are frustrated citizens and activist movements insisting that undocumented immigration has become a major national crisis requiring urgent and visible action. On the other side is a government attempting to maintain public order while warning against rhetoric that could inflame tensions or trigger unrest. But before we move further into the broader analysis, one key question continues to dominate public discussion. Why do many people already believe this march could become violent, even when organisers insist violence is not the agenda?
My name. They said I'm supposed to be killed because I came up with the date the 30 June 2026 to say all foreigners, Mr. Ambassador, all illegal foreigners and foreigners must come out of the country. We want to help the government, South African government, because we are voting for them. We are paying tax. We want to help them sort out the borders, home affairs, immigration, customs, and the policing system and border patrol. That is all we want to do. We are not saying, we have never said we are going to kill anyone. Since we started this march 1 year, 6 months ago, we've never killed anyone. We've never hit anyone. We are marching and showing the government that, government, please listen to us. We have problems in townships. We don't stay in areas like this. Somebody was killed yesterday in my village. Up until now, the police have not come to that house because there are no resources in the police station. But we are saying peacefully we are coming to see the Mr. Ambassador. We got 200 police. That means police are here in South Africa. They are here. They are available. But they are not available for, I'm sorry police, I'm very good friends with you peace officers. I'm very good friends with police. I love police. But I have to say this. All of a sudden, there's enough police in Pretoria. When there is not, right now as we speak, if we stand up here, I'm saying let's stand up here and go to Sunnyside right now. I will point a building and I will tell you there's prostitution and drugs and illegal immigrants in this building. But trust me, this whole year is gonna go without anything being done. But the police are available. Who orders the police to come to our marches and try and stop us from what we are doing? Who orders them? Who doesn't order the police to go and investigate that a boy in Soweto has been killed by Somalis and Pakistanis because of the tuck shop? Why are they not investigating that? Why for the whole year nobody's been arrested for that, but the boy passed away, a South African, killed because Somalis and Pakistanis want to put this thing, a tuck shop or a spaza shop. So we are saying we are very peaceful. We are very peaceful and we will continue to be peaceful, but we will still achieve the same results that we want to achieve for this country.
According to organisers themselves, the stated objective of the march is not violence. Their message, at least publicly, is that undocumented foreign nationals should self-deport and that the government must urgently strengthen immigration enforcement and coordinate repatriation processes with foreign governments. That distinction matters. Many supporters of the movement genuinely believe they are raising concerns about law enforcement failures, border management, unemployment, and state accountability, issues that affect ordinary South Africans daily. In many communities, people feel abandoned by institutions they believe should be protecting jobs, enforcing immigration laws, securing borders, and responding to criminal activity. For those communities, the protests are being framed as a pressure mechanism, a way of forcing the government to act on concerns they believe have been ignored for years. But at the same time, government fears are also not emerging from nowhere. South Africa has a painful history of unrest, xenophobic violence, looting, and community tensions spiraling out of control. Once mass mobilization begins, especially around emotionally charged issues like immigration and economic hardship, authorities worry that even a protest that begins peacefully can be infiltrated, manipulated, or escalate unexpectedly. That is why government officials continue stressing peaceful protest while condemning language that appears threatening or inflammatory.
You are welcome back. Now you've heard from the people and the government of South Africa. The question is, who should the immigrants listen to? Is it the people or the government? Drop your thoughts and opinions on the comment section. Thank you and see you soon as we continue to bring you updates on this matter.